Dateline Kickassia, year one of the new Critic Imperium. Confidence is high as this new and proud nation works long and hard to establish its new government. I'm Chris Larios from Transmission Awesome News, here in the nation formerly known as Molossia, but now as of recent known as Kickassia. Though it is not easy to establish a government from the ground up, Kickassia is fortunate to have hard-working individuals make their regime stable. And here's one of them now, Lord Cat, recently appointed Minister of Trade. Tell me, new Minister, what does your job exactly entail?
I have a lot of video games I can trade. Some NES, some Super Nintendo, some Sega Genesis, and we're hoping that we can trade them with other nations for goods and valuables.
Do you really think other nations will trade goods and valuables just for video games?
Oh sure, China would sell 20% of its military just for a copy of Marble Madness, and I guess it's pretty rare down there.
However, military forces are not a major concern in Kickassia. Secretary of Defense Angry Joe assures the public that everything is well protected.
It's true that we are a small nation and therefore more prone to attacks, but we have a good drill sergeant who knows how to keep up the men's morale.
Stand up straight! Tuck in your shirt! Stop being so tall! Did you say something?
Oh god, no. I'm definitely afraid of you.
Looks like a solid team you got there.
Yes, indeed.
Now, there have been a few reports that you are, in fact, a little gun crazy.
Who said that?
But an invasion seems unlikely, thanks to good relations being kept by the head of immigration, Benzai.
What do you mean you can't understand me? I'm French. That's the language of love. If you can't understand me, then you can't understand love. Hold on. Let me transfer you to my second in command.
Hey, you think you got it, bruv? I've had a time bomb strapped to my body and was blown into two separate pieces. There's not enough stitches in the world to recover from the emotional pain I'm going through. Prick.
Every nation needs a treasurer, and Kickassia is his cinema snob, who, as I understand, also designed the flag for Kickassia. True?
It's true, Chris. And for a nation like Kickassia, I figured that we really needed a real kick-ass flag. That's why I came up with a muscle-bound ice cream cone carrying machine guns and shooting laser beams out his eyes. Because when people look at that, all they can say is, kick-ass.
Well, it looks like you guys haven't put it on a flagpole yet.
Well, we weren't exactly sure how to get their flag down and ours up, so we're just using Handsome Tom as our flagpole.
I must say, he doesn't look very happy.
He's not, Chris. He's definitely not.
And there is also the concern of preserving nature, but no worries, as Lee from Still Gaming has taken over as head of the Environmental Protection Agency. Tell me, Lee, what is your plan for saving all the cute little bunnies?
I'm sorry, I'm just still getting over the fact that I'm three-dimensional. I mean, I can move with fluid motion. I can touch. I can feel. Is this what I've been missing all this time?
And there are others looking out for the well-being of Kickassia.
You feel beautiful.
Take Sage, for example. He is making sure that everyone is in good shape, acting as Kickassia's Surgeon General.
In my short time as Surgeon General here at Kickassia, I've made two amazing medical discoveries. One, when holding an Uzi, you will not die.
Really? And how does that work exactly?
I'm holding one, and I'm alive. Science proven. Secondly, our research has shown that dieting and exercise does not help build the healthy body. So that's why I've encouraged everyone here to start smoking. According to our studies, smoking does well to strengthen the body and prevent cancer, especially pregnant women.
Your studies show that.
Oh yes, it's right here on this chart. What do you know? I had the darn thing upside down. Oh, that's hilarious.
But not everyone in Kickassia is questionably insane. Take, for example, Paul, the local shock jock radio DJ.
And while the big wigs up on the hill with their fancy hats and their capes look down on the small people with oppression, with taxation, with sexual repression, don't get me even started on the sexual repression. Take a stand, people. Oppose the big people with their fancy fucking hats.
So, what exactly about the Kickassia government bothers you so?
Nothing really. It's just when people agree with angry hosts on the radio, it makes them feel better about themselves. So, in my own way, I'm helping the people's morale.
Another person keeping up the morale is Spoonie, who is now head officer for science and technology.
Yeah, at first we didn't have much of a science department. In fact, the original space program was just a stomp rocket. But I'm certain we can get things to a more legitimate level.
Hey, weren't you that crazy scientist before?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you had the goggles and the...
No! I mean, I was before, but that was the past.
Well, there are some in this nation who still do well to keep order and justice in hand. This is Linkar, head of the FBI. Tell me, Linkar, what are you going to do to keep this nation safe?
Well, it's all about surprise to fool our enemy. We are trying to find those who are best able to blend into their environments. For example, we've discovered that Juario here has a natural talent for camouflage. Isn't that right, Juario?
Yep.
But do you really think stealth and surprise are going to be enough to keep your enemies on their toes?
Oh yes, it's all about illusion. For example, I'm not even in front of you.
Oh, very good. Well, we all know what goes on outside the government building. Let's see what goes on inside the government building. Ow! Sorry. This is Secretary of State Phalis. Tell me, Phalis, what is a normal day entitled for you?
Well, mostly I come up with brilliant ideas and the nostalgia critic slaps me and then claims them as his own.
Does it pay well?
No, but it sure does hurt a lot.
But behind every great man is a woman, and presumably behind her another man. But in the case of the nostalgia chick, that is not so.
Well, he is a maverick to say the least, but no matter what his decision might be and whatever we disagree on, I still stand right by him.
On what issues do you disagree with?
Well, like our foreign policy experience with Nevada.
You've had foreign policy experience with Nevada.
You betcha.
In what way?
Well, if you look right outside, Nevada's right out there. You can see it from right here.
Indeed. And where do you guys get your information on current events? Do you read the papers, or...?
Yes, I that's it. I read the papers.
Which ones?
All of them. Ish.
Well, there's also talk that the nostalgia critic wants to push for more regulation and you want less. In which way has he wanted more that you haven't agreed with?
Oh, you know.
Actually, no, I don't.
Well, when I find an answer, I'll get it right back to you.
And finally, in the past, you've been known as a smart, edgy, young, opinionated woman, but recently you've been labeled an idiotic dumb ox who's trying to play naive and innocent in order to sneak into the president's seat. What's your opinion on that?
This world is full of cruel, cold-hearted people, and they don't maintain the same standard of niceness that I try to maintain. Am I not nice?
Yes, you are very nice.
So why would they say such a thing?
Probably the idiotic dumb ox part I just mentioned.
I would presume that it's because I'm a woman and prejudice is alive and well in this world.
But Mars God is a woman.
Sure she is, and I'm the Tooth Fairy.
And now, for the moment you've all been waiting for, an interview with the man himself, the man who made Kickassia possible, President Nostalgia Critic.
Greetings, Chris.
Mr. Critic, what are your plans now for this new glorious nation?
Well, first we plan on taking over the neighbors down the street. We've sent them pamphlets. Then we plan on taking over Nevada, America, and then the world.
Ah, and how do you plan on accomplishing this exactly?
A gentleman never tells, but I can give you a hint. It involves killing.
Indeed. But Mr. Critic, what about the fact that you keep the old president of this country alive and working for you?
Oh, that's not the president. That's Fritz von Baum, Minister of Keeping Things Orderly. I don't know, I'm going with it.
Well, thank you very much for your time, Mr. Critic.
Not at all, Chris.
Oh, and one more thing. Mr. Critic, would you say your diabolical plan is to take over the world?
Naturally.
Well then, would you say your plan is to one day conquer the galaxy?
Eventually.
Oh, Mr. Critic, do you someday plan on being bigger than God?
That question you can definitely say yes.
Say, Critic, do you get a lot of pussy with that outfit?
Of course!
Thank you. This has been Chris Larios reporting from Kickassia.
I gotta say, Critic, our financial situation isn't looking good. Of the money we have left, it doesn't look like we're gonna be able to accomplish nearly what we had in mind.
Quiet! Can't you see I am watching Hogan's Heroes?
But Critic, this is important stuff. We
Silence!
gotta...
I have a new rule! Every day at 4 o'clock p.m. shall be Hogan's Heroes time! Everybody shuts up and watches Hogan's Heroes. All in favor say aye. Aye! Motion passes. Go away.
Fine. But don't come to me when... just don't come to me.
Excuse me, Critic. I couldn't help but hear you're having trouble with our financial situation.
Is this Hogan's Heroes related?
And I just thought it'd be a good idea if we started charging for tourism. T-shirts, postcards, and such.
Nah, that's stupid.
Oh, okay.
Wait! I have an idea!
What could that be?
To increase our financial status, we shall charge for tourism! T-shirts, postcards, think of it, Phaelus!
I already have.
Then make it so. I have spoken!
Why do you let him take your ideas like that?
I don't know, because he's the president and stuff.
Well, wouldn't you like to know what that's like?
Yeah, sure.
Wouldn't you?
The plans for your rocket ship are in, sir.
Excellent! Do they have the little beer holders on the side?
They sure do.
Cool.
Hey, Nostalgia, we're pals, right? Huh? We're pals?
Yes, Film Brain, we are indeed pals.
Yeah, because this is what pals do, right? Sit on sofas and watch Hogan's Heroes and stuff, right?
The things you have just said are true.
Say, I was thinking, in my next movie review, would you like to do a cameo and...
Film reviews? We do not do film reviews anymore.
We don't? Well, what do we do?
We sit back and acknowledge the fact that we have our own nation.
Oh, how long do we do that for?
Forever, Film Brain. Forever.
Oh. Say, do you ever get tired of doing that voice?
Nonsense! This is a voice of the gods! A voice that demands honor and justice everywhere he goes. A little bit, yeah.
Serious now, what's up?
These stupid finances. We've got no money because Nostalgia Dickless over there won't do anything.
Well, I'm sure he's building up to something.
Like what? Watching more Hogan's Heroes?
No, I think at 5 Full House comes on.
But that's what I mean. He does nothing. It's like the job of a president is to be removed from reality while everyone else does the work.
Yeah, I imagine that.
If that was the case, why wouldn't you be in charge?
What?
I'm just saying, if you know you're more qualified, why couldn't you be president? Hey, I'm just thinking out loud. I'm sure you both know what you're doing.
Alright, men. You make wonderful agents as well as soldiers, but today we're going to teach you the element of surprise. Surprise! You're learning.
So, Linkara, how goes it?
Pretty well. I was just teaching these men the element of surprise.
Have you punched them yet?
After lunch.
Hey, Linkara, what's that on your leg?
It's a receipt for 20 tons of dynamite.
Who signed for it?
The Nostalgia Critic.
What's he doing getting dynamite?
I don't know, but it can't be good.
We have to tell somebody about this.
You mean like the Nostalgia Critic?
No!